something like that. Some people are confused, or at a point in their life they're not too sure which direction to go, but they want something else perhaps to leverage, so I can help them to figure out what else they can leverage. I help authors. I have authors in the U.S. Okay, there's a lady who's written a book about sugar. There's other people who have written other books in Canada, and I've helped these authors to actually publish in like no time, you know. And it's hard to believe that you could do some of these things, but some people make things very complicated, and I try and get right to the point and tell you, okay, this is how you do it. You know, if you want to make money this way, this is how you would do it. And that's what I explain to people, that there are shortcuts to doing a lot of different things. Okay, now it doesn't mean that, you know, it sounds like it's easy. It's not so easy, but there are shortcuts, and it can work to your benefit. So my programs, like when I train people, I will not train people like on an hourly basis or something like that. I do a 1 year long training, and they're with me for a whole year, and I take them from wherever they're at today to wherever they want to go, and I give you all these different roadmaps to leverage. But anyways, today we're only going to talk about one little tiny thing, okay, and that's videos, okay, and the importance of videos. So I know you're going to talk about videos also, which is great, because videos are probably the most dominant thing that Google likes to see online. But there's one fundamental mistake that everyone makes when they post a video online. And the one mistake they make is exactly what I'm showing here. Okay, so this is a video that I had created. Actually, you know what? I want to play it just so you get an idea of. Let me turn this on, I think.
Hello, my name is Marie-Claire Bourgeois. I am here in beautiful San Diego in this gorgeous mansion with Robert G. Allen.
So normally this would
Robert
be off.
is
This
my
is
mentor
closed
and
captioning.
coach.
Okay, and
He's
very few
has
people
helped
know
me,
that this actually exists.
and
You see a lot
encouraged me
of
and supported
professional
me
people post
to become
videos,
who
but
I
what
am
they'll
today.
do is they
She
will
is
ask
meant to be
Google.
a best-selling
Sorry,
author.
let
And
me,
you are
let me
meant
pause this.
to read her book. And when you do read her,
What people do is they'll use YouTube's function. Okay, it's a built-in function to enable the closed captioning. It's all automatic. It's wonderful. It actually listens to, the software listens to what the person's saying and transcribes everything for you, so it's done, right? And what's even more amazing is every word that's being spoken, okay, as long as you've done the closed captioning, is read by the Google bot, the Google algorithm that scours the entire internet, okay? So when it reads that, that's all keywords. Those are our keyword phrases, right? And what people don't realize is these keyword phrases, when they're connected to your website, so that you have your video on your Facebook page or on your blog page or website or whatever it is, wherever you posted it, if it's in line also with the text that's on your website, this is all about SEO now, talking a little bit about SEO. But this is the most critical piece right here. These words have got to be there. The problem that everybody makes, this is the number one problem, is everyone just lets Google do it for them because it's easy. Most people don't even do it because they don't even know it's important, right? But another group of people say, oh yeah, that's important, so I'll just leverage YouTube's capability to turn on the closed captioning automatically. But now if you read closed captioning for people, this is like 99% of the internet is like this, and I'm going to show you an example. Okay, and this is just because he's in real estate. I just randomly picked this guy, okay, and he's talking about real estate.
Everybody, Karthik Subramani, I'm over at Audi Schools. Just one.
So if we were to listen to what he just said, okay, and read what he's just said, some of them are keywords, very important keywords, but the YouTube program that compiles it and reads his words, okay, would have read something incorrectly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that could be a keyword, and it doesn't work because you allowed YouTube to do it for you because it's easy, right? But if you would have transcribed the video and then posted it yourself, okay, then you get, you know, like something like what I just showed you, which is, you know, a video that I recently posted for one of my clients who's written this book, right?
it is meant to change your life.
So in this text, there are no errors. Why? Because every single word's been transcribed. Every single word. Right? And now when I match that up with the keywords that you can actually type into YouTube when you post a video, because you can put in keywords, right? You can actually tag them, okay? I've placed strategic keywords into this video, right? They're all flagged in there, okay? So it's when you post, there's a whole process you go through. It's not that complicated. And there's a little box that says, you know, are there any tags you want to put in? Those are all your keywords, right? So you want to make sure you put all those keywords, as many as you can there. So when you're in real estate, of course, you're going to talk about real estate. If it's a house you're showcasing online, you want the address of that house, not only in the keywords, but also if you're speaking, you want to make sure that it's transcribed, because that transcription is also being searched out, right? It's the fundamental mistake that everyone makes. Like I rarely find a video online that does it right. Okay, and the only reason why I know this is I've been doing this, like I'm over 50, I'm over the half-century mark. I've been doing this for a very long time. When computers first came out, I used to travel across the country for IBM when they first came out with their original PC, right? So when some people ask me, do I know anything about computers? I actually know how the computer runs on the inside, So if you ask me questions, if this was a very technical group, I would be more than welcome to take any questions anyone has, because I understand a computer right down to the bits and bytes, how information is written onto the hard disk and everything. Okay, so how the sectors and tracks and everything's organized, and different types of memory. So, I don't need to tell you, this is an area that I'm so comfortable with. I understand really, really well. Go ahead.
The whole point of what you're talking about is
Right.
it so that people can find the video faster?
It's so the search engines can find it, right? And if the search engines can find it, as a result, everyone else is going to find it. Yeah, the world will find it, basically.
In terms of the keywords, so you're saying you have a script that you're superimposing on the actual delivery on the video,
Right.
and you're taking the keywords from that, or you're
I
putting
actually-
the keywords in first to make sure they're included in the script?
Well,
Which
I want to
comes
make sure
first?
the keywords are included in in the transcription, right? Number one. But where there's a room, I actually fit in an extra word or two, right, in my transcription,
Okay.
even though it's not actually being spoken. Yes.
Can you show us the back door where you put in the keywords and how you put them in?
Sure. Sure. So you just info, more settings. It's easier when you first do this because it's just the part of the process. So right there are the keywords. So there's a title, a description, and then all these keywords down here. These are tags. And it's going to ask you to punch in all those tags.
Is there a limit to how many you can put in there?
I don't know. I put in a lot.
put in a lot.
I put in a lot. I haven't hit a limit yet.
Okay.
So in some cases, this is all I have here,
So
right?
then Google or the search engines organize it by the keywords, and then when they're putting.
Well, it's matching everything up. It's saying, wow, that person's supposedly speaking this, supposedly, because it doesn't really know, right? And that's our advantage, right? So, and it's over here, okay? And it's possibly on the same page that this video is being, pasted, like posted, right? So when you embed a video, it's all matching up, right? When everything matches up, that's what makes a site really sing. That's how people end up being on top.
So you put in the most important keywords first, they come up first in the video? Is that what you do?
No, it doesn't matter where they come up, what order. I just want to make sure they're just there.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Is there a way of transcribing what YouTube, or editing what YouTube's transcribes? My question.
You can. I think you
If it
can.
transcribes automatically,
Yeah.
then we then go.
See,
into
like for
it.
example, I did this for this video, okay, and I actually tried exactly what you said. I tried exactly what you said. But what happens is, okay, she's from Quebec. This lady's from Quebec. And when she speaks, most of the words are completely wrong. Completely wrong. Like you should have seen the transcription. So I let YouTube do it just to see what happens, and it was a mess. So I just figured this is not a long video. Most of these videos, like how long are they really? Okay, maybe 2 minutes. And how long does it take to type up 2 minutes worth of text?
A lot of time.
Does it?
2 minutes is a lot of texting.
Really?
You know
It
what?
didn't take
You
me that long.
if you can voice text, if you have a Mac or an iPad, you
Right.
voice text it and then correct it. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, you can just copy and paste it into like a
Yeah.
notepad, and then you just bring notepad directly in. You just tell it to look at notepad.
Where do you put it up there? How do you get it onto the video?
Oh, there's it's just under closed captioning. So when you're
So what you're saying is
So right here?
anything that's closed captioning, you can have it.
yeah, it depends on if you allowed Google to do it, YouTube to do it automatically, right? Or
Can you still edit it if you did?
it's harder. You know, it's so much easier if you just have a file.
Even if you
And
have
then-
an iPhone, you can voice text it into your iPhone
Yeah.
and then email it.
And Google has those. I teach this also, right? So it's another subject, right? But you can use different tools from Google. So if you have like, let's say 2 minutes, and you know what you've said, okay, you just repeat it again, right? Okay, and it'll type it all out for you, and then you just copy and paste it.
My issue is, once you have the text in front of you, reading off of a script,
Right.
and that is not an easy thing to do when you're on camera. I've done it. It looks like hell.
Right.
It's very hard. And I did like 50 takes and it wouldn't matter. I still looked like I was reading a script. No, he's saying you have to actually read the script the same way as what's
No,
on the
you
script.
No, no,
That's
no.
hard.
Do your
video
first.
Yeah,
Doing your
and then
video
type it
first,
right.
yeah. Yeah.
Or do your video and hit voice option as you're doing the video. And then it's gonna type it as you're talking anyway.
You said there's a Google option where you could, well, actually, it'll transcribe what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Well, you could use things like Google. I believe it's called Google Task or Google. Not Google Voice. No. Let me just see here. You know what?
There's an incredible dictation software called Dragon, which you can
Yeah,
buy for
I have that.
$99.
Yeah. So
And
Dragon
it's-
is really good.
Yeah.
From that perspective, you could use Dragon.
And you can use it with a PC, it doesn't have to be, you know.
And or you can use Siri. You can just talk into Siri on your, if you have an iPhone.
You don't even have to
There's
use
just-
Siri. You
so-
go to voice text and hit the
There's
microphone.
On Android, you have it.
There's an app called Google Keep.
Google
Okay?
Keep.
Google Keep by Google. Okay.
Google Keep.
Okay, and Google makes it. So if you you can actually record into it. So if you can just actually, if you have a video, you can then use Google Keep. You just have your phone and you play right into it. Like so, you're playing it on your computer, and then you could record it directly into your Google Keep. Okay, and it's going to transcribe everything for you. So if I go into Google Keep right now, I know I have a way you can see this, but it'll take a few extra minutes, and I don't want to take up that much of your time. But I can display my phone on the screen here. Okay, but the way you would use it is you would just record using Google Keep if you want to do it that way. It's a little hokey, I would say, right? You're better off using like Dragon or something like that, you know, and just getting it to take that video and transcribe it.
I hired a high school kid,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's amazing how fast those kids can type. I just emailed her
Absolutely.
the videos, and they came back almost as fast as I could send them to her. It was amazing.
Well, one of the tasks, okay, that I do give out, okay, because one of the things I teach is outsourcing, okay, because I do very little myself. Okay, I have as much as possible outsourced. I didn't create that video, right? I have somebody create it for me. I have tons of videos that are online that I don't even like. The odd one I've created, if I have some spare time, but normally I wouldn't do it. I have somebody create it for me. And they could do all of these things too. So I hire people overseas. So it's a process you can learn too, where you can hire people. But there's also a process to hiring people where you need to understand. There's like the good and bad and the ugly, and you need to understand, how all that works, right? But it's really exciting once you understand how to outsource. Oh my God, like I was in my life. I was at one point $500,000 in debt. $500,000, and all I learned was one thing: outsourcing. Totally changed my life. Completely changed, transformed my life.
How many things? How many things?
How many things?
How many things did you learn to change your life?
One.
One thing. One thing. Does that resonate with anybody? With the board? One thing?
No, it's so true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. And that's why that's one of the programs like I've taught at Keller Williams is outsourcing. Which is I think very powerful. Once you learn outsourcing, it's hard to go back. right? Because you just don't want to do those cumbersome things that maybe you're doing today. Like all these things, like, you know, transcribing a video or posting that video even. You know, have somebody do it. You know, just you can put it online. It takes you a few seconds, and let them muck with it after that. As long as they know what to do, you know, then they're good.
And here's the thing, is they enjoy doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the key. Because if you don't enjoy doing something, how can you ever master it? Why would you want to? Why would you want to put
And
yourself
the
through
thing
that
is, you know,
stress?
is that really a good way of using up your time?
Exactly.
Right? You really want to use up, you know, your time and effort transcribing a video. I don't know if that's a, you know.
So you're recording this either on whether it be a phone or a digital camera of some sort,
Right.
and then you're outsourcing it from there, and they go into a Dragon software or whatever software you use.
Exactly.
And they load it to YouTube, so you're not touching any of that. Maybe just reviewing it, but you're not.
In this case, because this was the first of almost everything, I try and oversee, right? Because I want to make sure little components of it are done right.
Right.
You know, especially if it's somebody new that I've just hired. You know, so now I'll walk them through the process so they know what I know, right? And they know how to do it, so it's all done right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, is there any other questions about videos? Because basically, that's it. I mean, all I can tell you is, in a nutshell, videos are very important, and you should be leveraging videos as much as possible. This is like the one area. Okay, I'll tell you this. Okay, my sites. Okay, normally people have a bounce rate. There's something called a bounce rate on the website.
Yeah.
A bounce rate is, you know, a good website would be maybe, you know, hopefully they're around 50%, you know, bounce rate, which means that you know, 50% of the people will stay longer than 30 seconds on your site. Okay, 50% of the people just leave. Okay, and that's supposedly a good bounce rate. Okay, in my case, okay, my bounce rate is just under 3%, which means that 97% of the people come to my sites and they stay there for more than 30 seconds. So that helps my ranking, right? So how do
That's
I do
an
that,
understatement.
right?
97%.
What is your website?
So one of my websites is Pass the Wheel. Okay, you can go to my website. I actually have a lot of websites. Okay, so I couldn't go through the list of how many websites I own.
What are the most trafficked?
Pass the Wheel. Yeah, and that's actually being completely, right now as we speak, I have people overseas completely overhauling the entire site, because that site itself is around 10 years old, right? And that's one of the sites that I make money from 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, and what it does is it helps people pass the knowledge portion of their driver's test in Ontario and across Canada, including California, right? And that's all it does, right? So and I teach people this, how they can take an idea that they have, whatever idea it is, okay? And if you can turn that into a system, online system, that it would be valuable to other people, you now have an automated system that people will purchase online, and you don't have to be involved at all. It's just they're gonna do something, they're gonna learn, test, whatever it is that you have in your mind, and you're good to go. You know, once it's built, you're set for life. You know, all you gotta do is make sure it's updated, right? Now, when I say you're set for life, okay, that's also not quite true, okay? Because nothing is ever set for life. Things keep changing all the time on the internet. This is the internet we're talking about. And everyone that you know, okay, unfortunately, is a competition when you're online, right? Everyone. Okay, so whatever you do and whatever everyone else learns, they're also learning, right? And if they're implementing, okay, then they're getting the same advantages. So you're always, you know, basically fighting against everyone else who's learning more, learning about how to compete online, how to make your site the best site, how do you make it show up so that it's relevant, you know, and all that kind of stuff, right? So how do you do that? So these are the things I teach people in my whole program, right? Also, there's a whole issue where a lot of you guys, okay, especially, you know, there's an issue with branding, okay, where, you know, if I type in one of your names, okay, and I do this all the time. I show my clients this all the time. I'll type in your name, and then I'll go into images, for example, and see if your image shows up. You know, how quickly does your image show up? Like, where does it show up? How does it show up? Are you there, totally wasted, on a beach or something like that? I don't know, right? But that might not be a good image, because if nowadays people search people out, and it's so easy to do that, right? You go on your phone and you're online, right? So you wanna check, and you wanna check this periodically, what you look like online. So you wanna see all the links that are tied to you and your business, what are all the images that are tied to you and your business, and see if they make sense, or if you just don't show up. And if you don't show up, then that's where I help people to show up, So when I do a search, okay, I show people how they can do things online where your image starts showing up, your branding starts showing up. If you're in real estate, you're a mortgage broker, whatever you might be, your name and your image should show up, and it should show that you are a mortgage broker or you are a real estate agent and you service this area. There should be signs and banners and everything else about you. So what that does is it helps your credibility, right? We're kind of a little off topic here from the video part, but the video is very short, right? There's so much more online, right? It's like, it's incredible, right? I know all of you do something online. You must have some business online, or at the bare minimum you have a Facebook page online. There are so many things that you can do, right? It's just a matter of being aware, right? And so, like I said, I've been in this world for a very long time, and I've kind of roll with punches. I make massive mistakes, but it's my massive mistakes that help me to learn, right? I don't pretend to know everything, but what I do know, I know very well, right? So, anyways, I'll leave it like that. If you have any questions, I think we have a few minutes, right?
Yeah, we do, absolutely.
So.
What's your greatest success story?
My
For
greatest
people you
success. Oh, okay. There's a lady that I helped in 2013. Beginning of 2014. In 1 year, bottom line is she wanted to be a speaker, a public speaker. So I helped her, and she was really bad, unfortunately, right? really bad. And it wasn't that I couldn't help her, but I knew it wasn't right for her, right? But what she was right for was she actually needed to be an author. She was an amazing writer. When you see what she types an email up, it's like awesome, like, oh my God, I can't do that, And I thought, wow, this person needs to be an author, And so I coached her in that direction, right? That person, by the end of this year, would have made more than $1 million as an author. She would have, and she's a single mom with one child, right?
Yeah. That's Casey, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I met her. Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
You say when you take on a client, it's usually for a year contract?
Yeah.
What kind of scale on cost would that be like? Like what are we looking at cost-wise? Or does it vary each individual case depending on what the client wants?
No, it doesn't vary, because bottom line is everyone has the same issues, everyone has the same blocks, if there are blocks, that prevent them from doing certain other things and what they're comfortable with doing, right? So I take them all through the exact same process, right? So the cost-wise, what I say is it's an investment of for 1 year, it's $12,000. That's based on one call, one hour call every single week, right? So it works out to, I'll do the math for you, I think it's $250, right, per week. My normal rate, though, is now $475. That's what I charge per hour, right? So it's hugely discounted, and I tend not to talk, on the 1 hour things, because it's just not worth my while. And there's no real value, because I know that I can talk to everyone in this room, okay? And your lights go off and all that stuff, it's like, oh, I can do that, and then you kind of go away and you get stuck. Everybody gets stuck, As soon as they walk out of the room, they're a little stuck. What did he mean? What did he say? And you get a little stuck. So this is where I know coaching helps. I had a coach, myself, right? So I was coached also by who was our coach with Robert
Harris.
Ryan Harris. Yeah. So I leveraged Ryan Harris for 6 months, right? In the end, I was actually helping him with his website, but I was paying him, right? So in the end, you know, like, it really wasn't worth my while to have a coach anymore, right? But I wasn't disappointed with that, because he did help me in the beginning. He helped me with scripting and some other languaging and stuff like that. But as a life coach, you know, in other areas, you know, like, he really couldn't help me, right? The bottom line, right? But I learned a lot, you know. I learned how I should do things and how I shouldn't do things. One of the things I do when I coach, and I don't think there's a coach on this planet who does this except for Joel Bauer, and that is, you know, I record everything that we do. I always do Skype sessions or some other meeting format on a computer, so it's computer to computer coaching, and everything I do on my computer is being recorded, as well as you and, like, so both of us are being recorded, our voices are being recorded, and everything I'm showcasing on the computer, and the training itself, how to do something, not theory. I don't do theory. I just show you how to do it, get it done, right? So I show you that, and it's recorded, and it's made available to you. So when all my clients get their recordings, even if it's, by the way, if some of my clients, they call me, okay, so because they started calling me, and they were really good coaching calls, you know, like from my perspective, and in the end from their perspective too, I started recording everything that comes on my phone too. So as soon as I get a call, it's being recorded, and just so you know, okay, so everybody knows that if you ever call me, the calls are recorded. At some point I just delete them, except for the ones that go online. Everything is secure, everything is locked down, it has a password, only you get the password. This is the way I run things, because I want to make sure that at the end of every coaching call, you don't need to come back and say, what did he say? I don't remember, you know, right? You could always watch it over again. Like, how cool is that, you know? And there is no coach except for Joel Bauer that I know of that will do the show me how again, you know? So I record everything, you know? So you can come back to me and say, Dinesh, you know, you told me this, but I think you're wrong. And I'll tell you, shit, you're right, I was wrong, you know? And you know what, this is what you should be doing, you know? You're right, you know, I made a mistake. I can tell you that. I'll record it and I'll stand by everything I say, but if I made a mistake, I made a mistake. It's recorded, you know? So, totally honest, you know? And I want to make sure all that information is available to you. But I do different programs, okay? You don't have to spend like $12,000. I have a program that's half that amount, and it's once every 2 weeks. And then I have another program which is half that amount, and it's basically once a month, you know? So it depends on what kind of calls. And I'm also, I didn't realize that your group was actually this large, okay?
It's
But
bigger.
I didn't know, okay? But I created a sheet, okay? And on the sheet, okay, like I'll take it out. On the sheet, I actually put my, you know, the offer, right? And basically, it's if you were to do a group session, the way I defined it was up to 5 people. Okay, I will train for 2 hours once a month. So I could come here for 2 hours every single month and train, you know, 5 people. But this is a lot larger than 5 people. So I didn't really have an idea. But that would be $6,000 for the whole year, and I can come in here, you know, once a month for 2-hour training. Okay, and you just can. We can either have something scheduled, something you want to know about. Okay, it could be about social media, it could be about videos, it could be about. I really don't care, okay? You pick, okay? Out of certain things, okay? So what I talk about is mobile productivity. I talk about desktop and mobile security. I talk about outsourcing. I'll talk about strategies for successful online branding, and talk about SEO tips, you know, if you need to know that kind of things. I can talk about that. And I also talk about, you know, rituals that you can implement in your life. Okay, they can help transform your life. If you're stuck anywhere, okay, there are certain things that you can do on a daily basis that can help you to create a shift in your life, right? And that shift is totally awesome once you experience it, right? So I can do that, and we can figure out something I can do for this whole group, okay? So if you want me to come in like once a month, you know, I would do a 2-hour. Okay, and either, you know...
For free? Wonderful, we're in.
Absolutely.
We negotiated.
Negotiated.
Just remember, you get what you pay for.
Oh,
I want to
I
take you
get
back
that.
to some, this is a
Sure.
great tip. A lot of us have discovered, and by the way, that's Chuck included in that our real estate lead generation websites are broken. Pay-per-click has become so competitive and so messed up that we're all struggling. And even Dean is struggling, but I don't think he's admitting that yet. In kind of the new world, and in Toronto, there's just so many people doing what Lee, Laura, myself, and others were doing years ago when there was no competition. So we're finding that our lead generation is severely depleted, as well as when Google made the change. And again, I'm not sure how much of this is theory and how much reality there is in the importance of mobile websites, and that the whole place seems to be a mess. Is there anything you can share that would help us? Is there anything in your coaching that could help put us back where we were in terms of lead generation?
Well, absolutely. There's, one thing I'll recommend though is, don't rely entirely on, because you're in a very customer-centric world, right? So I wouldn't totally rely on the internet. Yeah, it's great, and there's a lot of things you can do, okay? But there's a lot of things that you can do offline also, right?
It's just one pillar.
And so from a coaching perspective, what I would say, okay, like just out loud, okay, off the top of my head, okay, I would say that, you would, really benefit by creating programs that people that are in apartment buildings or in low housing, how they can shift from living in the rental world to having their own home, right? And if you were to do, like you hand out flyers and you get, people to come to your training, free training, that's going to help them to transition from being paying rent to paying a mortgage and owning a home, and the value involved in owning a home. Most people don't understand that, okay? And especially new immigrants, I can tell you that, okay? So if you were in an area where there's a lot of new immigrants, you could do that. If you're talking about globally, okay, and having people come into this country, you could leverage videos to do that, Like I have a way I think, okay? And I have ideas, of what you could do, So there's a lot you could do. There's a lot.
Just a comment in response to you that completely backs up what Dinesh is saying. I've not spent one penny on lead generation in my entire career in terms of pay-per-click, and mine are at an all-time high. It's content-driven.
Relationship.
People are sick to death of pay-per-click sites. The public's not stupid, and
right.
There's many offers like that out there. But they hit on a blog through a long-tail search. You do video, you're getting better SEO, whatever. But they hit on a blog, and whether they're watching a video or reading your words, it's content-driven.
Right.
So you're building a relationship, and I'm getting 3 to 5 roughly. And remember, I'm in a town of 16,000 people. I'm getting 3 to 5 solid leads a week. People who respond to those leads, I do a transaction with 4 out of 5. They're not loose that I'm going to send them stuff for a year, and there's zero pay-per-click. It's I know I keep preaching this, but it's your investment time in blogging. It's all content driven.
Right. So I don't do pay-per-click, by the way. I did. I've done pay-per-click up to over $100,000 worth of pay-per-click, right? So I've done all that. So I understand how that works. Now I do AdSense. Okay, so I like to make money from Google rather than paying Google, right? So I kind of turn the tables. So yeah, I don't do it anymore only because I have a way of through videos and other techniques to get my sites ranked well enough, right? But it's an ongoing battle, I can tell you that. I have people that work 24 a day, 7 days a week for me that all they do is various components of SEO, right? Hire people to do that, right? And I teach that in my outsourcing. So, yeah, any other questions? As far as mobile, by the way, yeah, your site's definitely to be mobile friendly.
Dinesh, sorry, this isn't to put you on the spot or anything, but with your life coaching, how is your life coaching different from every other coach, basically? Because the one call a week, most of us here have had coaches.
Right.
You're given a task, you didn't do your task. Okay,
Right.
you didn't do your task, nothing to talk about,
Yeah.
call me next week. Like, we need more than that.
Yeah.
You know, we need to pick
I
up,
make ones.
we need somebody to pick us up or
Well,
relieve
because
ourselves
see,
when there's
the
nothing
thing
to
is
go.
that what happens is, okay, people don't have, they don't have something to achieve, really. Okay, it's very, you know, like finite. You know, did you wake up earlier, you know, every day of the week or something? I don't know. Okay, something very, you know, like wishy-washy, right? And I don't believe in too much of that, right? I mean, some of it makes sense, but other stuff, I don't really care for it.
So how do you motivate?
Well, how do I motivate people?
Can you give us an example?
You got the wrong group.
Well, it's a great group, actually.
Or the
This is-
right group.
This is the
No,
right
we're
group.
all high achievers, it's just that some of us don't follow through like we're supposed, we all know what we have to do.
Right.
You
So,
know?
so you know, I always work on what the block is. You know, there's always a block. Why aren't you taking action? Right? What's the reason for not taking action? Right? And the reason why you're not taking action is usually it has to. You're feeling pain, okay, with respect to that action, but you have to associate pleasure to taking that action, right? And that hasn't been defined well, and that has to do with your subconscious and your conscious mind, right? There's this whole thing where your conscious thinking, okay, and your subconscious thinking, if they're not in sync, okay, you can't actually accomplish your goals. But once your conscious and your subconscious are in sync, okay, you can accomplish anything in your life. Doesn't matter what it is. You can have, you know, the partner of your dreams. You can have the money of your dreams. You can have the house of your dreams. You can have whatever you want, okay, as long as you can balance what you're thinking, clearly thinking, and your subconscious mind. Okay, there's a book, okay? There's a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, written by Joseph Murphy. I would highly recommend everyone here read that book. It's totally awesome, okay? And if that doesn't help to get you guys motivated, okay, you know, like, then I'm here.
Who was the author?
Joseph Murphy.
Joseph Murphy.
Anybody read it yet?
Anybody read that?
I've read half of it.
What do you think?
I like it.
I mean, it was written a long time ago. He's
Yeah.
passed away since, you know. But most of these great
Well,
authors, you know,
It's very much Joe stuff.
Or
They
Joseph
know what I'm
is very
talking
much,
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much along his lines of thinking.
right.
So how much has Tim Ferriss influenced you with his 4-hour work week? That book.
It was too long. 4-hour work week. It's too much. I can't do 4 hours in a week. That's way too much. But yeah, it influenced me. It's actually one of the. If you go to my Pinterest page, okay, so I have different boards on my Pinterest page, right? And one of the boards is knowledge. It's called Knowledge, and you'll see that exact book on that, which I have at home also, right? So yeah, it's totally awesome.
I love the fact you think 4 hours a week is too much.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, because I mean, you know, like my goal many years ago was that I actually want to work from here. You know, so a smartphone, take it with me anywhere, drop in a chip from any country. You know, I have their local SIM, and now I'm connected. I have access to my websites. I have access to my Google Analytics. I have access to all my people online. I can communicate with them. I can get work done while I'm sitting on the beach.
And you don't have roaming charges?
Well, that's what I would do. Is I would get a local.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point I wanted to make.
Yeah,
Make sure
no
we
roaming
got
charges, stuff like that. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Like when I go to the
Smart.
States.
It's
Okay,
always the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Change
see,
it.
if I go to the States, okay, I just take off my back cover. I have a little SIM here, okay. Okay, it's a Roam Mobility SIM. I pop that in there, and I'm a U.S. customer. I have a U.S. phone number, right? I have full access. I have massive amounts of data available to me, and I have unlimited calling capability anywhere in North America. You know, and I carry that with me all the time.
The other thing I found when I was in Europe and my daughter was going to school for 4 months, she didn't have, she had to put her cell phone on airplane mode, and there was Wi-Fi everywhere. We would FaceTime all the time. She's walking somewhere, we're FaceTiming. She's
Right.
showing me pictures of what she's doing.
Oh yeah, a smartphone nowadays is so you can.
And she didn't pay a dime
Yeah.
when she went over. We unlocked her phone, and she didn't put a SIM card in. She just
Exactly.
used Wi-Fi.
Exactly. Most of my customers, I don't expect them to have, like, you know, I don't have FaceTime because I don't have a Mac, but an Apple phone. But you know, I use Skype. I can Skype call people. I could I use Viber, I can Viber call people, but not everybody has these tools. And I don't say, make sure you have this tool, you know? So I make sure that I have access, you know, to call, basically. And I always tell people how they can get a hold of me, unless I'm really on vacation. You know? In which case, then nobody gets a hold of me for that period. Right? And if I miss calls with anybody because I'm on vacation, it just means that your calls are extended out, obviously, right? Nobody's ever, you know, and even if you're on vacation, okay, it doesn't mean that you've lost that call, okay, with me. It means you're on vacation. Call gets shoved over, you know, until you're ready to call again, right? You know, and continue that coaching process, right? But that's what I do. I help people. I've helped a lot of authors. I've helped people create online businesses where they do this kind of thing, audio video production for other companies. This video here and other videos like it, I have videos with all types of animation in them. I've done one for, and you could pay around $1,000 for a video like that here in Canada if you ask somebody to do it. I can have these things done for definitely less than $100, you know? So 1/10 the price, you know? Almost any video, you know, with animation, anything you want in it, you know? Right? Cutting it out, fading, you know, different pictures showing up, whatever, it doesn't really matter. You know, all of that can be done, you know? Like, I'm talking, you know, motion picture quality type stuff, if you wanted that, right? So all of those things are possible. Right? You wouldn't do it through me, but I would show you how you get it done, right? The idea for my coaching is to show you how you can be self-sufficient, how you hire the right people to get the job done, you know, right? So, you know, I've helped people, like I said, doing this kind of company. I helped a person create a business where they started in their basement. They were importing products from China, and they created an e-commerce website. And 1 year later, okay, now they own like a unit. You know, like they pay like, you know, $3,000, $4,000 a month. They own a unit. They have 2 people working for that, you know, for them full time, right? So they're making that much money, you know, and all their products are being sold through Amazon and online direct. You know. Yes.
Have you helped any realtors? Yeah.
Yeah, she's helped me.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of realtors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what
I'm
is,
surprised actually, but anyways, it's okay. I love it.
and what is the first thing that you normally start off then with a realtor?
With a realtor?
Yeah, when
No,
you're sitting down
I want to
there.
know what their concerns are, what they want to accomplish, you know? Mainly because usually everyone has some idea of what they want to do initially, and most of them just want to say, well, I just need to, you know, improve my branding, you know, online, right? So I show up better, you know, without having to pay Google, you know, I know, AdWords campaigns and stuff like that. So how do I do that? That's where it starts. But then I help people to think sort of outside the box. What else do you want to do besides real estate? You know, because do you want to do real estate your entire life, or do you want to create maybe a revenue stream that will work for you the rest of your life, right? One of the easiest ways, by the way, is to become an author. Yes.
I have a real mental block in that I feel that I have to buy a travel pack when I go into the country. So can you explain a little bit more about the SIM card?
The SIM
So
card?
I don't have to buy a travel pack and I can go anywhere and
Well, this one specifically is for the U.S. It's called Roam Mobility,
Don't buy them at here.
right? But I mean that's.
do you buy them in the country where you're going?
No, I bought it here. Yeah, I think you can go to. Where did I go?
I was told don't buy them in the airport, wait till you step outside of the airport because they're very expensive.
That could
And
be
for one in
tricky.
Britain was like $15.
You bought them where? Where did you buy them?
Staples, I think. Staples Business Depot.
Because I found the travel packs, if you go to different countries in the same trip, then you have to buy a different travel pack for that particular area. So I found it very expensive. So you just buy a SIM card here in Canada to wherever?
Well, this is the SIM card I buy. This SIM card is specifically for the U.S.
Use it, that's what
My plan is open in Canada. I can go anywhere in Canada, Rome. I have no roaming charges. I can travel coast to coast, and there's no.
But you have to tell her she has to unlock the
It's
phone.
actually a very simple thing to do. You just Google before you go the country that you're going to, and Google local SIM cards. I mean, when I was in Israel, and that was done from here. And when I went to the UK, I already knew what the price was, so I got mine at the airport because we only had 4 days in London, I knew the price was pretty well the same, you know what it is. So you Google it, and the SIM card is just, you just need to make sure that your phone is unlocked. It's the only thing you need to worry about is that if you're on Rogers, you pay them $50, they'll unlock it. I'm not sure what it is with Bell, because I don't have a Bell phone or whatever. And then on the plane, the country you're going to, just pull out the one SIM card, put in the other one, and when you arrive there, bingo, your number arrives, everything.
The other thing we did when we unlocked them, they told us to report it stolen, and I only had to pay $15. Well, I didn't know I didn't have to pay $75, right? To hold Jess's phone number and all of that kind of stuff, because we completely didn't use her phone.
And then you come back in the country and say, oh, I found my phone.
Well, no, and they told us to say that. So I only had to pay $15. Rogers. I only had to pay $15
They just
a
wanted
month
you off the phone.
to maintain her plan, right? So when she came back, everything just, we found the phone and everything's fine.
Okay, Dinesh, thank you.
They told me to do that.
What's that?
Can you change one in a smartphone?
In an iPhone,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, but they charge you
Just
$50
it's your
to
carrier. That's it. Whoever your carrier is, and then it's a little
My,
bit of a
my
process.
Mexican property, I just bought a cell phone and you can buy minutes.
Yeah, there's lots of ways
So
to do
many
it, and
ways
it's
to do
easy.
it.
Just Google
Yeah.
before you go.
Exactly.
So Dinesh, just finally, and we want to thank you so much for taking your time, and we will distribute Dinesh's contact information for folks who want to follow up. And if there's any interest for a group coaching, we'll get back. But just one last question. This was a great reminder, because I'd known about this and I'd forgotten about it. Any other quick video secret that you can share with the group that will help us get visibility, exposure, or whatever else?
Well, there is, okay, and what it is whenever you post a video, you also want to tell all your friends that you posted a video and to comment on the video, okay? Because the comments and likes are very important, okay? Because what it does is it tells YouTube that this is potentially a popular video, and so it gets searched out a little bit better. So you wanna have that, tell people to come there, comment. Okay, but when they comment, okay, this is the other thing, this another secret, okay, is when they comment under your video, they should use certain keywords. Instead of saying, oh, this was a great video, thanks for sharing. That doesn't help you at all. But this was a great video, and I'm so happy, that I'm learning from it as well as from your website, www. or your Facebook page, whatever it is, right? So you're branding, okay, or let's say if it was about home, okay, and there's an address, okay, embedded and all that stuff I talked about, you can put the address again in the comments. Really appreciate you talking about 9235 Weston Avenue, in Etobicoke, whatever, right? And again, those are keywords because somebody's typed it in, right? So if you can get not yourself but other people to type that kind of stuff in, those are keywords that are in the comments, also very, very important. Well, that's what you're saying is exactly right. So my answer to that would be that in a coaching environment, as a group coach, what I would do is I would tell you to do exactly that. Everyone helps everyone else out with comments. So as soon as you post a video, everybody's got to go to everyone else's video, and you know the rules. You would know the rules for posting comments, right? And of course, they all got to look a little different. They can't all be the same. They can't all have the addresses.
You can't copy and paste the sentence
Right.
and say this.
Right. But you would realize what all the keywords are that you want in the comments. So can you imagine? You post one video up, and now there's like 25 people that have commented on your video with all the right keywords. Oh my God.
So that means
That would help you so much.
We can't even get us all to pay our dues on time.
Yes, but we do it to help each other because we know it benefits their business, right? Well, how many Facebook pages have we liked of each other?
Well, it's
Speaking
true,
of that,
though.
mine will be out in 2 weeks. You guys got all liked.
Dinesh, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
You know what I can do? I'm going to give you this. Okay. By the way, I don't have business cards, and I tell everybody that all the time. Okay. I don't have business cards because if I handed out business cards, I would have more business than what I really would want.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I thought I was checking.
So the only way you can get a hold of me is
I will
right here from this
distribute
gentleman.
that to our private group.